Wow, a lot more than I hoped for. This is why we do this, I guess. Oh. Welcome back to TYGR's Garage. We've probably put 60 to 80 miles on Stinkbug since we did the major overhaul, rear end swap, lowering, all of that stuff. And I haven't touched a single nut or bolt on it since. So what I'd like to do today is go ahead and get it up in the air and just kind of nut and bolt the thing. And maybe as we go, we'll address a couple other little things that have kind of been bothering me and just make sure everything's in ship shape. In addition to that, a couple things on my list that I'd like to do is get that driver side blinker pimple thing out of there. I got to get, when the front's up in the air, we're going to do that because it's got to be up in the air anyway. I'd like to maybe look at the steering box. We're going to start in the front, jack it up. It's a beautiful day. We should be out ripping this unit, but if I drive it every nice day, that's kind of how we got to where we are, where we never check nothing, and then we're gonna have a real failure that I can't just screw back together on the side of the road. Passed the death test. This will also give us an opportunity to check wheel bearings and all that. Remember, everything was new, and then we drove it, which is the point, but that doesn't mean it doesn't need to be rechecked. So I feel a little bit in this. I'm assuming there's a little bit on the other side, so we're gonna take both front wheels off. Hear that? Things are gonna settle in and kind of find where they're happy. I'd assume it's happy now, so we'll pop this cap off. We'll put a turn or two in it. While we're in here, we're gonna check all this steering gear stuff. Now that is okay. Heim joints are meant to do that. What would not be okay is if like we had loose jam nuts or something like that. We'll do the same thing down here on the tie rod. We'll make sure everything's tight. We'll get actual wrenches on it, not just our fingers. This is the part of car YouTube that you don't often see because it's not sensational, it's not exciting. Nothing's gonna break down, there's no big smoky burnouts, but it's important. Got a little bit of slop. We'll if we can't take care of that. What happens if I put another, whoop. There's also like no brake drag. One more is gonna be on the verge. I'm gonna put it right there. Listen, if I knew, or how am I gonna phrase that? If I didn't know that I had brake parts coming, I would probably adjust the drag on this drum. But for now, I'm gonna leave it. That took all the slop out, that's way better. All right, that's dealt with. I'm gonna put wrenches on these big 5/8 bolts that I can get to on this side that hold the steering gear together. Nothing is scary yet. Jam nuts are tight. I mean, this stuff looks exactly how I left it, which is obviously the goal. Suspension and steering wise, this side is, I'm happy with it. I'm convinced that it didn't move. Before we move to the other side and put this wheel and tire package back together, we need to get up here. That up there, this is headlight, but right here is the bottom of that blinker light. All right, so that thing has like the hollow stud kind of that the wire goes through, and then there's nut around the outside. It's rusty, looks like she's been underwater. It's 11/16, I can get a socket on it, and I don't care if I break it. Oh, I'm gonna have to try to hold that, it seems. I got an idea. All right, you shouldn't need this much to get a light out, but, oh. It broke it right off, didn't it? That's a big ass hole. I mean, it's symmetrical. That driver's side hole is bigger than this one. I should try to patch those. Those are the vents for like when you're running Talladega. You know, you gotta get that high pressure zone out from the wheel well. Superbird did it first. We're doing it second. It's not that this truck isn't supposed to be nice. It's that it's not supposed to look nice, right? We start fixing everything, but that's a rabbit hole that I'm not trying to go down right now. Last thing to check on this side is the U-bolt nuts, and then we'll shove it back together. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Oh wow, I'm getting a little bit. One of the biggest mistakes I made when I lowered the front is I didn't get new U-bolts. Actually, can I tell you the real story? That's not true. I'm making myself look bad. I did get new U-bolts. I did. But I bought them for a 3600, which at the time I didn't realize had just one size bigger hardware everywhere. And I was either too lazy or didn't want to drill out the spring pads on the axle I bought, which was sized for 3100 stuff. Driver side's good. I'm considering it Good. Wow, this wasn't very tight. Imagine having this big plate bumper fall off driving down the road. That's why you check. Did it? If I would have said this morning, I bet the bumper's gonna be loose, no one would have believed me. I would not on my bingo card, but it was loose. We're over on Ricky's side now. I have fixed the door already, in case you're wondering. Well, I've worked on the door already. Fixed is maybe a strong word. But I was able to kind of reattach the handle where the splines meet. That was really the problem. Is she was moving the handle and it was spinning on the post, so it wouldn't drop that pawl to allow it to latch all the way. I think that was the problem. This has a little bit as well. Unsurprising. Another thing that I didn't do that I wish I did when I put all this together is have these drums turn, just a light shave on them. I did the old Scotch-Brite maneuver, but that would have been the correct opportunity because the pads and everything were new. And that one's tight. Oh, that felt scary tight. Oh, a couple in the back. I don't have the right size, so I'm just gonna be like, yeah, that shock is fine, which I think it is. Another thing, hindsight is 20/20. I keep saying that, and I wish I would have had a little bit more foresight. Remember when I spent like an entire afternoon beating the bushings out of the rear spring pack? I didn't do that for the front, and I wish I did. I'm sure they're worn out. I think that's some of the like, whoa, shimmy shake knocking noise that we hear. We'll see how long this truck stays leaf spring. Seeing the truck on video a lot, obviously, right? Driving, it's still too high in the rear for me, and the front. To be, I mean, I got plans for this thing that are offensive probably to some people, but it's summer and I'm really enjoying driving it. So I do not want to take it apart right now, but I also don't want to spend too much time optimizing a leaf spring package, if that makes sense. I've been having a look at my shop manual here, which if you guys don't have one, you should. If you have one of these trucks, I guess if you don't have one of these trucks, then there's no reason for you to have one, but you get what I meant. What I was saying is I've been looking at the shop manual, chapter 9 steering gear assembly. Since the front's in the air hanging already, we should probably look at the steering box. I've never adjusted it. I don't know if it has fluid in it. I don't know anything about it except for that it's really sloppy. There is some adjustments in here. The drawings they aren't jiving with my eyes, but I think if I could look at it, and then I'll make it make sense. So I'm gonna get the hood up, leave it up in the air, and we'll see if we can't get some of that slop, because there's a bunch. If I could take even half of that out, this thing would drive a million times better. One more thing, just remembered, don't let me forget. This truck has a cowl vent. It's the coolest thing ever. It's like a hood scoop for your fresh air, for your body, not your engine. Anyways, I can't get mine to open. The linkage is frozen on the inside. I want to try to pry on it out here without breaking it and get her popped up, because I'd never close the thing. I just need it open. So we'll get there. Steering box first though. There it is. I think I've kind of figured out what I'm looking at here. Obviously I know what the steering box looks like. This is a lock nut down here and what they're calling a lash adjuster. And then a lot of the adjustment on the worm gear itself is from this end. It's got this big, what they're calling a lock nut, which looks like you kind of knock it off maybe with I'm sure there was a special tool for it, but we're gonna use a screwdriver and a hammer to knock the lock nut loose. And then there's an adjuster slot that looks like you can turn it in to take up some of the slop. That's what we're gonna do. I also noticed we have a pipe plug right here, which in my head is for grease or oil or whatever it's supposed to be. I don't really know. I looked it up. They want like a grease that's self-leveling. John Deere makes something called cornhead grease, which everybody says they use. I've got Skill worm drive saw grease, which seems real similar because this is a worm setup in here. We're dry as a bone right now, so I'm gonna put something in there. I think in our world that we're living in currently, any lube is better than no lube, and we've been no lube for a while, which is a little bit of a bummer. So I have the drag link disconnected. I'm gonna loosen this. It says to loosen this lock nut and you take the lash out of it. Then you're supposed to check pull on the wheel with like a fish scale, which I don't have and we're not gonna do. And then you end up loosening this and screwing it in, I think, until you get the pull resistance that you want is how this works. Like this, right? If we had a fish scale right here to pull down, I don't have a fish scale, but that's less than that. So we got to knock that cap off the back and try to take some slop out of that worm gear. It's moving. We have a bit of a problem. This is the lock nut, locking ring. This is the adjuster. You're supposed to knock this one loose and screw this one in, and it preloads the bearing. This is tapered. Ours came out as one piece, which means I got like a piece of tape holding everything together. I don't want none of that to fall out. We got to get this freed up and moving again so we can actually set our preload. Another thing that makes me nervous is look at how high up the lock nut is, which means someone's driven this in a long ways. Now, it usually doesn't take much to take the slop out of it, but we don't have much to start with. So I'm gonna put this in the vise and try to get the pieces separate. We'll wire wheel them, we'll put everything together, see what happens. All right, I got it back in there far enough by hand. I also went ahead and put some lube in it because I feel like we should set the adjustment not super dry. We'll keep turning it in until the wheel feels better, basically. Okay, that made a huge difference. I almost feel like I should move it a little bit. Circulate all that oil. Okay, I've got that set what I think is probably in the neighborhood. I don't have a steering scale, but I know it's better and tighter than it was, which is kind of our goal. I'm gonna go ahead and put the jam nut back on and snug it up. It's more lubricated than it was, and it's tighter than it was. Both of those, I think, are good things. The drag link fell back into place, so I don't think it changed it too much. Let's see how hard it is to steer. Oh, it's not hard. It gets a little bit lumpy in the middle. And like I can feel some heavy spots, but it's tighter, and I think it's better. We're gonna have to drive it and find out, but I think it's better. We still need to check the U-bolts and stuff in the rear, but since we're kind of working on the front, working our way back, let's see if we can't make some magic happen right here. I don't know what's gonna happen. I just know I want this thing open bad. I don't want to pry on it too much. I've lubed and tried to fix the linkage. Man, I don't want to break it either. Maybe a slight impact would help. I'm gonna tap on that linkage with a hammer and see if I can't get anything happening here. A dead blow. We won't go straight to the mini sledge or nothing. Oh, it's starting to move. Yeah, buddy. It's starting to move. Oh, there's a bunch of gross under there. Okay, we're getting some move. I feel like if I can get it on the run, I can lube this linkage enough to make it work. Is it going? I feel like one side is a little bit lazy. Come on now. I don't know what fully open looks like either. The handle sure moved a long way. Maybe that's open. Somebody comment and let me know if that's open all the way. I think it is. It doesn't want to move any farther, and it's like touching in the corner. So I think we're maxed or real close to it. I lubed up the linkage in there. I'm gonna get my shop vac and suck all these pine cones and probably stink bugs out. I'm gonna clean this up. I really, really like this feature. I'm glad we got it working. Oh, look at all that. Oh, in the eyeballs. I think there's supposed to be like another handle that I'm missing. Did it close all the way? Not really. Oh, there we go. Oh, she's working good now. It's got like a spring detent. That's that clicking. I'm getting it now. Okay. We like ours open like that. That's AC, man. That's gonna be so nice. Just scooping in the air as we're doing 37 miles an hour. Between that and this vent, which does work, we're hot weather ready. All right, I think that's it for the front. So I'm gonna put it back on the ground and we're gonna check the kind of nut and bolt the rear. There's not that much to do back there, honestly. And then I think we'll probably spin it around the block at least once because I wanna feel that steering and I wanna feel the air flow through that cowl vent. Next up is the U-bolts in the back. It's one of these two sizes, I can't remember. Remember, our nuts are on top of the axle this time, so I think I can do it without taking the wheels off because I crawl underneath there. If anything's gonna be loose, I expect it to be back here because new U-bolts, thinned spring pack, you know, different axle, a lot of new stuff happened in the back specifically. Wow, a lot more than I hoped for. This is why we do this, I guess. Wow. I'm really glad we're doing this. I wish we would have done it a couple weeks ago. All right, so we got a couple turns on most of the rear suspension stuff, which is concerning but not surprising. It doesn't mean we did anything wrong. It just means we were overdue for a check. Like I said, everything was brand new. There's stretch, there's settle, there's all of that stuff. We'll check again, but for right now, things are back where we left it. The only thing left to do in the rear is I'm gonna check the U-joint strap bolts because all that's new too. And then I feel good. I feel like we're checked. We got a pretty clean bill of health here. I think it's only fair that we go see how our steering is. Plus, we got our cowl vent open. We got our leg vent open. Anytime I work on it, I like to shake it down a bit, and I really am curious to see if the steering is tighter, more appropriate. I mean, it's gotta be better. Can't imagine it's gonna be worse. So far, it steers pretty good. It's a lot tighter, I can tell. Even low speed, I can tell. My steering wheel's more crooked, because remember I set everything up off a sloppy steering box. I didn't really know that then. So steering wheel's a little bit more crooked, but steering in general is tighter and better. We need to get a little speed just to feel it out. It responds to inputs much faster, like, you know, a normal car might. Oh God, you should feel the breeze down here too. The cowl vent is just sucking in the hot air. Well, the cool air, you know what I mean. It's working, it's ventilating. Yeah, it's way better. I should probably reset the alignment now on the drag link, but it's way better. It's way less wandering, and when you get some speed, the ventilation is great. I mean, look at this. That ain't so bad. Yeah, that was worth messing around with. It feels, I'm sure it being lubed, like that grease will get places that it probably isn't yet. It might smooth out a little bit, but just the dead zone is like this, where it used to be like this, if that makes sense. We got tight U-bolts, we got tight fasteners everywhere, clean bill of health again. Stinkbug is ready to rip for this spring season. I think that's gonna do it for this episode of TYGR's Garage. Thank you guys for riding along. Please don't forget to subscribe. We will see you next week. I don't even know what we're doing yet, but we'll see you next week.